Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Line Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I will be fighting a 1,750-point battle between my Dark Angels and Shaka's Tyranids. So the story that we've got going on here is that the Dark Angels needed this planet as a forward operating base for a mission that they were using to track down the Fallen, and they needed this planet to rally their troops and rally their forces. But there was one minor inconvenience. It was infested with Tyranids. So the Dark Angels, not being ones to just roll over, decided to reclaim this planet for the Emperor, or more importantly, for themselves. So this is we are going to be playing the Scorched Earth mission from the chapter approved book. It's Eternal War mission, so there's 6 objectives. We've got one in here. We've got one back over here. One over here, one over here, one underneath those dude bros, and one in the building over here. And what happens is at the end of each turn, you score a point for each objective that you hold. If you happen to hold an objective in your opponent's deployment zone, you can choose to raise it. And basically what you do is you score D3 victory points for that, but it is then removed from the table, no longer to be scored by either you or your opponent. So that's the mission that we're going to be playing. That is the story that we are going to be playing. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out.
So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment, a vanguard detachment, and a super heavy auxiliary detachment. Leading off the battalion detachment, we have a master in Gravis armor and a master. We have 2 5-man intercessor squads and 1 5-man scout squad with bolters. We have a 3-man squad of inceptors with assault bolters. We have a 10-man Hellblaster squad. We have a Dark Talon. Then for the Vanguard detachment, we have a Lieutenant with 2 bolt pistols. We have an Apothecary and a Primaris Ancient. We have a 5-man Reaver squad with grav shoots and bolt carbines. We have a Venerable Dreadnought with twin las cannon, fist, and underslung heavy flamer. And last but not least, in the super heavy auxiliary detachment, we have an Armiger Warglaive. So for the Tyranids, he'll be running a battalion detachment, a patrol detachment, and a spearhead detachment. Leading off the battalion detachment, we have 2 flying hive tyrants. Both have adrenal glands, both have toxin sacs, both have monstrous rending claws. The one on the left has a miasma cannon, the one on the right has twin devourers. And we have 3 sets of 3 ripper swarms. Then for the patrol detachment, we have a Neurothrope. We have a 15-man squad of Termagants with Devourers. We have a 6-man squad of Hive Guard and an Exocrine. Then for the spearhead, we have a Neurothrope. We have 2 Carnifexes with Death Spitters, Enhanced Senses, and Spore Cysts. And last but not least, we have a Tyrannifex with Acid Spray. All right, so those are the armies going over deployment now. I've got my Dark Talon on the left over here. I've got my Venerable Dreadnought along with a Master and a 5-man Intercessor squad. I've got another 5-man Intercessor squad in this building over here. Inside the building here, we've got my 10-man Hellblaster squad along with the Primaris Ancient, the Apothecary, the Master in Gravis armor, and the Lieutenant. We have the Armiger Warglaive on the right over here, and we have the 5-man Scout Squad holding the objective over on this side. In Deep Strike Reserve, I have my Inceptors, and I have my Reavers sitting there in Deep Strike. Going over deployment now for the Tyranids, we've got his 2 Carnifexes over here. We've got the Tyrannofex in over here. We've got one of the Neurothropes over here. Inside the building, we got a whole bunch of bugs. We've got the Termagant squad inside the building there. We've got the Hive Guard down there on the bottom floor. We've got the Neurothrope behind them over there. And over on the side here, we have the Exocrine. In Deep Strike Reserve, he has his 3 Ripper Swarms and the 2 Flying Hive Tyrants. So that is the deployment. As of right now, the Dark Angels will be going first, unless the Tyranids can seize the initiative, looking for a 6. No, not getting the 6, so we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1.
All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. My scout stood still. My Armorer Warglaive moved up towards these guys over here. All of this little star of doom has started moving up this way. So the Hellblasters, the Ancient, the Apothecary, the Lieutenant, and the Master have all started moving up here. The Intercessors have moved up onto the second and third floors of the building over here. These Intercessors stood still where they were. My Dreadnought stood still, and so did my Master over here. And my units in Deep Strike are staying in Deep Strike for now. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. And my Dark Talon had moved up over this way, had flown over the squads in here. So he is going to drop his stasis bomb onto the Hive Guard back there. So there's 6 guys in that squad. So I roll D6 for each of these. Every 4+ is a mortal wound. So looking for 4+. Really good. So that is 4 mortal wounds. That kills 1 Hive Guard and puts a wound on a second. All right, starting off the shooting phase, my Dark Talon is going to start us off here. He's going to fire the 2 Hurricane Bolters into the Termagants, and he's going to fire the Rift Cannon into the Hive Guard down there. So we're going to start with the Hurricane Bolters into the Termagants. These are going to be hitting on 2s because of Strafing Run. We'll come back to you with that. All right, so we got 22 hits. These are going to be wounding on 3s. Come back to you with that. All right, so we got 13 wounds coming in here. These are going to be looking for 5+ saves because they got 6+ armor save and they are in cover there. So making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So that means that he is going to have 8 dead. All right, so now the heavy Rift Cannon into the Hive Guard over here. So we've got heavy D3 shots. That's going to be 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s because it's heavy, so that would reduce it by 1 plus 1 because of Strafing Run. So looking for 3s to hit. That's 2 hits, strength 10, so wounding on 2s. That is going to be 2 wounds at AP -3. 1 second. All right, so it's going to be 2 6-ups because they've got 4 up armor, AP -3 plus 1 because they're in cover, so 2 6-ups. Making 1, failing 1, so that one guy that's wounded will be dead. So now because I did a wound to the unit that was unsaved, I roll on the Rift Vortex table. On a 3-up now, I do an additional D3 mortal wounds. I do not. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. All right, so that does. Do I get a command point back? I do. And now let's see if I how many wounds I'll be doing. So D3 mortal wounds. Oh, 3 mortal wounds at the fill face. And now my Venerable Dreadnought is going to fire into his Exocrine back there. So 2 shots hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s because of the Master. Also, Grim Resolve would have gotten that. So that's 2 hits. Strength 9, so wounding on 3s. That is going to be 1 wound at AP -3. So 1 6-up. No, goes through. D6 wounds. 5 wounds. All right, so now my Hellblasters here are going to fire into his Carnifex on the right over there. There's 10 of them in range there. They're going to be hitting on 3s. I am supercharging, so hitting on 3s. Not getting to reroll these. Only 1s because of the Master back here, but no 1s there. So these are going to be 6 hits. Wounding, strength 8, so wounding on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. That was a 3, and that goes in there. So that is going to be 5 wounds, AP -4. So looking for, oh yes, because these guys are Jormungandr over here. So they are going to have, they count as in cover as long as they haven't charged or advanced. So they're going to have cover, so it's going to be looking for 5 6-up saves. No, fails those, so he is dead, and that is first blood. And now my Armored Warglaive is going to fire into his Carnifex over there. So he's got Assault D3 with his Thermal Lance. So it's going to be 1 shot. This is going to be hitting on a 3. That is a hit. Strength 8, so looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. He's got a 6-up save. Does not make it. Ooh, 1 second. All right, so the Thermal Lance is in melter range because he's at 15 inches, a 30-inch range melter there. So these are going to be 2d6, and I take the highest. 1 and a 6. Okay, so 6 damage. All right, 1 Intercessor is in range of his Exocrine back there, so he's going to fire here, hitting on a 3. Not hitting. And that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 1. So we'll come back to you after movement phase because everything that lost units is within synapse of a synapse creature. So they are fearless. So they're good to go. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 1. Turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 1. The Carnifex here moved around here, getting a little closer to my Armiger Warglaive over there. His Tyrannifex and the Neurothrop over here stood still. His little Ghiblies over here decided to move around to get a line of sight up on my flyer, and everyone else in here stood still. And everything else in his Deep Strike is remained in reserves at this point. So that is it for movement phase. We will come back to you with, is there Psychers? You got some Psychic? All right, with the Psychic phase. All right, starting off the Psychic phase, his Neurothrop here is going to cast Catalyst onto his into his Carnifex over here. So looking for a Warp Charge of 6. Not getting it with a 5. And this Neurothrop is going to smite into my Dark Talon over here. So looking for a 5. Getting it with a 7, so D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds. All right, so my opponent actually done Rapid Regeneration, spent the 2 command points for that, so he's going to do it onto his Carnifex over there. So he gets D3 mortal wounds back. Getting 3 mortal wounds back, or mortal wounds, 3 wounds back onto him. Pretty good. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, his Carnifex here is going to fire into my Hellblasters. My opponent spent 2 command points on Pathogenic Slime, which gives them, it's a Tyranid monster, so it's going to have increase the damage of his attacks by 1. So he has 2, Devours, right?
He has 4 Death Spitters.
Oh, 4 Death Spitters here. So we're going to have 12 shots coming in here, right? 3.
No, 12.
12, yeah. So 12 shots coming in here because he's got, it's a 3 shots per. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. So having a couple fails there. And these are now strength 7, right? So these are going to be wounding on 3s. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. 4 AP -1, so 4 4-up saves. And failing 3 of them. Ugh. All right, so that means 3 of the Hellblasters are dead because of the Pathogenic Slime, increasing it to 2 damage apiece. So now they are going to see if they can shoot back because of the Primaris Ancient there. So looking for a 4-up. Oh, 3 of them are firing back. All right, so 3 of them are going to fire into his Carnifex over there. They're going to supercharge. So I got 3 shots here, hitting on 3s. Not getting to reroll 2s, only getting to reroll 1, so that's 1 hit. Strength 8, looking for a 3 to wound. All right, so the Tyrannifex now is going to fire. Because he stood still, his rule means that he can fire twice. He's going to put 1 of those shots, 2d6 shots, into my Armiger Warglaive and 1 into my Dark Talon there. So we're going to start with the Dark Talon. So it's 2d6 auto hits. So that's going to be 8 hits there. These are going to be looking for, these are strength 7. So he has toughness 6, so looking for 3s to wound. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds there. AP what?
-1.
AP -1. So I've got 5 4-up saves. Making them all. Woo! And now the shots into the Armiger Warglaive again. 2d6 hits. That's going to be 9 hits this time. Pretty brutal. So these are going to be, again, strength 7. He is toughness 7. So these are actually going to be wounding on 4s. All right, so we've got, what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and is that one back over there? Right? Is there another one, or am I ignoring? Oh, that's just it. All right, so we got 7 wounds over here. These are going to be, again, AP -1. So we've got 7 4-up saves as well for him. Failing 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 4. They're D3 damage apiece. So 4 D3 damage. Doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Brutal. And now the spines are going to fire into my Hellblasters here. So it's going to be 8 shots because it's assault 4 and he gets to fire twice now. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Or, 1 second. Hitting on 4s. My bad. All right. Getting 2 hits. Yep. Yep, getting 2 hits here. So these are now strength. Strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound. AP minus 1, so 4 up save. And he's good. And now the Exocrine's going to fire. He's going to fire twice because he stood still. So the first one set's going to go into my Armiger Warglaive, and one set's going to go into my Hellblasters over here. So we're going to start with the ones into the Hellblasters first. So it's going to be 6 shots, hitting on 4s. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s because these guys over here are Chronos. All right, re-roll that 1. All right, so that's going to be 1 miss. These are now going to be strength, 7. So again, looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds there. AP minus what? AP minus 2, so these are... AP minus 3, so these are looking for 6 up saves. Making 2 of them, I'll take that. 50% fill faces. And then, so it's going to be 2 go through. What's the damage on these?
They are 2 damage.
2 damage apiece, so it's going to be 2 dead guys. 2 dead guys, so let's see if they get to fire back. One of them does. All right, the one guy that's getting to shoot back is going to shoot into the Carnifex, supercharged. That is not a hit, but re-rolling 1s because of the Master. That is a hit. This is wounding on a 3. That is not a wound. All right, so now the ones into the Armiger. We're hitting on 3s. Re-rolling the 1. All right, not meant to be. So that is 2 misses there. So that's going to be 4 hits. Strength 7, looking for 4s to wound. Getting 3 wounds. AP minus 3, right? So these are going to be looking for 5 up invul saves against shooting. Making 2 of them, so 1 goes through. That's 2 damage. He's down to 3. All right, so now his Termagants are going to fire into my flyer over here. So these are going to be hitting on 5s because he's -1 to hit because of supersonic. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, and these are going to be strength 4, so looking for 5s to wound. Getting 1 wound. 1 regular, right? So it's just a regular 3 up armor save. Yeah, he's good. And now the Hive Guard inside of that building are going to fire into my Hellblasters. They do not need line of sight to shoot. So they're just going to shoot into them. They've got, there's 3 of them left, so it's going to be 2 shots each. Hitting on 3s. Re-rolling 1s because of being Chronos. So re-roll those 2 1s. All right, one of those, that's 6, I believe, is the miss. So they've got, we've got the 4 hits there. These are going to be strength what?
Strength 8.
Strength 8. So these are going to be looking for 2s to wound. Getting 4 wounds there. AP
minus 2.
AP minus 2. So looking for 5 up saves. Making them all. Woo! All right, so now my opponent is spending 2 command points on single-minded annihilation, which will allow his Hive Guard to shoot again, and they are going to shoot into my Hellblasters again. So here we go, 6 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, re-rolling that 1. Not meant to be, so that's 4 hits again. These are going to be wounding on 2s. Getting 3 wounds. 3 AP minus 2, so 3 5 ups. Failed all of those, unlike the last round. So what did they each? D3, 1 at a time you have to do them. So D3 apiece. So first one and the second one will be a dead guy, and then the third one is a wound. So 1 guy's dead and 1 guy has a wound. Let's see if that dead guy gets to shoot back. He does not. All right, so that is the end of the Tyranids' turn here on turn 1. Pretty good turn. My Hellblasters, they lost 6 guys that turn. So 6 plus 4 is 10. They have +1 leadership because of the banner, which would mean I'd still lose a guy. So I'm going to re-roll that because of and they shall know no fear. Into a 6. But because of Grim Resolve, they only lose 1 guy in all of that. So pretty good. All right, so that is it for the Tyranids' turn here on turn 1. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. My scout stood still. This little blob of dude bros is moving up this way. These intercessors moved into the building in the front here. These intercessors advanced up this way, rolling a 6 for that. They were booking it. Back over here, my Dreadnought and my Master stood still. In from reserves came my Inceptors and my Reavers. So that will be it for the movement phase. At the end of the movement phase, my Apothecary is going to try to bring back one of the Hellblasters there. So on a 4-up. Nope, but I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that into a 4-up. So he comes back. Do I get my command point back? I do not. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, my Vendread here is going to fire into his Exocrine over there. So we've got 2 shots hitting on 2s because he hasn't moved. So there's 2 hits. These are strength 9, so looking for 3s to wound. Rerolling not the 1 because of that. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. All right, so that's 2 wounds. Do I get a command point back? I do not. So that's going to be 2 wounds. AP minus 3, so 2 6-up saves. Makes 1, fails 1, so D6 wounds into 2 wounds. All right, so now my Dark Talon, who went into hover mode over here, is going to fire his heavy rift cannon into this dude bro down here, and he's going to fire the 2 hurricane bolters into the Hive Guard. So we're going to go with the Hive Guard first, hurricane bolters into the Hive Guard first. So these are going to be 24 shots because they're in rapid fire range, hitting on 2s because of strafing run. All right, I'll come back to you with that. All right, so now we've got 21 hits. These are going to be strength 4, toughness 5, so looking for 5s to wound. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, so we got 7 wounds. They've got 4-up armor plus 1 because of cover, so we got 7 3-ups. Failing 3 of them, so 1 of them is dead. All right, so now my Hellblasters are going to fire into his Carnifex over here. They are going to supercharge. They are in rapid fire range, and I'm going to spend a command point on Weapons of the Dark Age. Do I get the command point back? I do not, so I am down to 5. So we are going to do these one at a time because, that's just the way they work. So 2 shots from the first guy hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits. Second guy is 2 hits. Third guy is 2 hits. And the fourth guy is 2 hits. So that's 8 hits. These are strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound. Rerolling the 1s because of the lieutenant over there with them. All right, so that is going to be 8 wounds. These are now going to be AP minus 4. Because he is Jormungandr, they get plus 1 because of cover, because he hasn't charged or advanced, so that's going to be 8 6-up saves. He makes 4 of them, but he is still dead. Oops, my bad. I forgot to do the Rift Cannon into him. I declared it, I just didn't roll it, so it's going to be heavy D3 shots. Getting 3 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s because it's minus 1 for moving, plus 1 because of strafing run. So that's 2 hits. These are strength 10, so wounding on 3s. That is 2 wounds. AP minus 3. Yep, into him, so 6-ups. Nope, failing them both. That is 6 damage. He is dead. All right, so he explodes or does whatever Tyranid monsters do that is like it explode. Death throws, so looking for a 6. It does, so we'll come back to you with that. All right, so it's D3 mortal wounds within 3, so his Gaunts and my Flyer. So we're going to go with the Gaunts first, D3. Doing 3 mortal wounds, and then onto my Flyer, D3. Doing 3 as well. Brutal. All right, so now my Armorer is going to fire into his Tyrannifex over there. So it's Assault D3. Getting 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 5s now because he is down to his 3rd profile. Okay, nothing hits. All right, so now my Reavers are going to fire into his Tyrannifex over here. We've got 10 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. These are now going to be wounding on 5s. Is he T8? He's T8? He's T8, so actually wounding on 6s. All right, so getting no wounds. All right, now my Inceptors are going to fire into his Gaunts over there because they're just out of range of his Hive Guard. He took out his casualties perfectly. So these are going to be their Assault Bolters hitting on 3s. All right, I'll come back to that. All right, and these are going to be wounding on 3s. All righty. Getting 2 wounds. AP minus 1, so
Okay.
2.
They're dead.
Oh, they're just dead, so that's 2 dead cons. All right, my intercessors here are going to fire into his Tyranids. So we've got 5 shots hitting on 3s. All right, not getting to reroll 1s because they're... Ooh, 1 second. Never mind, they are within 6 inches of the master still, so these do get to be rerolled. All right, pretty good. So that's 4 hits. These are going to be strength 4, toughness 8. So looking for 6s to wound. Showing them Phil Farsos. Getting 1, AP minus 1. So it's going to be a 3-up save. Oh, he takes a wound. And the Primaris Ancient's going to fire into him. That's a hit. That is not a wound. All right, so that is it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, I am going to charge with my Armored Warglaive into his Tyranids over here. So 2d6 auto hits for Overwatch. Getting 11 hits. This is not going to be good. All right, so these are going to be wounding on 4, strength 7, toughness 7. All right, so getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds there. So we have 5 AP minus 1, so 5 4-up saves. Yeah, he is dead. And that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 2. We will come back to you after a movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 2. Movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 2. His Tyranids is moving forward this way. His Neurothrope stood still back there. He had a swarm of Rippers drop in back over there. Another swarm of Rippers dropped in over here. The Neurothrope and the Hive Guard stayed where they were, tucked in the corner, and the Termagants moved in around there to cover them. And back over here, he had one of his Flying Hive Tyrants drop in over here, and one of his Flying Hive Tyrants drop in over here. So, when he placed this model over here, I declared that I was going to activate Auspex Scan with these dude bros over here, and they are going to fire into him. So, they are going to be firing. They're in rapid fire range. They're going to be hitting on 4s because it's -1 to hit with Auspex Scan. So 10 shots from them, hitting on 4s. All right, rerolling 1s because of the master over there. All right. So that is going to be 5 hits. These are going to be strength 4, toughness 7. So looking for 5s to wound. All right, within range of the lieutenant over there. So that is going to be 4 wounds at AP minus 1. So these are going to be 4 4-up saves. Failing 1, 2, 3. Failing all. Oh no, made that one 4-up save. So it's AP minus 1, right? He's got 4-up, yeah, invul and 3-up armor. So yeah, so failing 3 of them, he takes 3 wounds. All right, so starting off the psychic phase, his Flying Hive Tyrant here is going to cast the Horror onto my into my Dreadnought over here. So it's looking for a what?
A 6.
Looking for a 6. Goes off with a 7. So now the Neurothrope over here is going to cast Smite into my Reavers. Going off with a 6, so D3 mortal wounds. Doing 2 mortal wounds. And this Neurothrope is going to cast Catalyst onto the Hive Guard over there. Goes off with a 7.
Yep.
And now he is going to Smite into my Dark Talon here, looking for a 6. Goes off with a 6, D3 mortal wounds. Doing 3 mortal wounds. All right, so now his Flying Hive Tyrant over here is going to fire his Twin Devours into my Hellblasters. So we've got 12 shots here, hitting on 3s. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, so 9 hits, wounding on 3s. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wounds over here. So we've got 8 3-up armor saves. Failing 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 2 guys dead. Let's see what they can do. One of them will not be firing back, and neither will the other. All right, so now this Flying Hive Tyrant is going to fire his Miasma Cannon into my what's this thing called? Dreadnought, my Venerable Dreadnought. Man, words just completely fled out of my brain right then. So here we go, it's Assault D3. All right, getting 1 shot here. This is going to be hitting on a 3. That is a hit. Strength 9, so looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. AP minus 2 plus 1 because he's in terrain and 50% obscured. So looking for a 4-up save. That is a save. Woo! All right, so now the Tyranids is going to fire into my Hellblasters. He did move, so it's only 1 2d6 shot. So 2d6 hits. It's going to be 7 hits. These are going to be strength 7, so these are going to be looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds there. AP minus what? AP minus 1, so these are going to be looking for 4-up saves. Failing 2 of them. AP, it's D3, so one at a time. So that's a dead guy, and that is also a dead guy. Now we're going to see if they can shoot back. They do not get to. All right, so the Hive Guard here are now going to fire into my Dark Talon over here. So we've got 4 shots because there's 2 left. Hitting on 4s because it's -1 to hit. All right, so getting 1 hit. Strength 8, so 3s to wound. That is a wound. AP -2, so looking for a 5-up save. No, it goes through, so he is dead. Does he explode? He does. We'll come back to you with that. All right, so just the gaunts here are in the way of that explosion. D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, 3 mortal wounds. That squad is wiped. All right, and my opponent's going to spend his last 2 command points to activate with single-minded annihilation his Hive Guard again. They're going to fire into my Inceptors over here. So we got 4 shots hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Kronos. So that is going to be 4 hits there. Strength 8, so looking for 2s.
Come on.
Getting 3 wounds. So 3 AP minus 2, so looking for 5-up saves. Making 1 of them, so D3. So first one does 3, that kills a guy. Second one does 3, kills a guy. All right, so now that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, his Hive Tyrant here is going to charge into my scouts. They're going to fire Overwatch. 3 of them are in rapid fire range, hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. All right, so getting 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 5s, getting 2 wounds, 3-up armor save. He's good. And now he needs a 9-inch charge to get in. Here we go. Gets in with 9 inches. And now this Flying Hive Tyrant is going to charge into my intercessors over here. I'm going to fire Overwatch here, hitting on 6s. Rerolling nothing there because only 1s because of the Master. So 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Rerolling 1 because of the Lieutenant. Nope, so that's going to be 1 wound. AP -1, 4-up save. He's good, and he has a 9-inch charge to get in as well. 2 is not going to get in. Nope. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase, so the assault phase. So into the fight phase, his Flying Hive Tyrant over here is going to attack into my scouts, hitting on 2s. All right, so that is going to be 3 hits. Wounding on strength, what is it?
6.
Strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. That will AP -3, so that is going to just be 2 dead scouts. And now my scouts are going to punch back here. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 5s. Getting no wounds there. All right, so that is the end of the Tyranid's turn here on turn 2. Nothing that I didn't lose enough to take morale tests on anybody, so that is going to be that. But at the end of the turn, my opponent still scores 2 points there, putting him to 4. So at the end of turn 2, the score is 7-4 to the Dark Angels. So we'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. My scouts fell back out of combat heroically, saving their lives for the Emperor over here. All of my characters here moved up towards his Flying Hive Tyrant, probably a little bit more heroically. These intercessors stood their ground over here. These intercessors moved up here to grab the objective. My Venerable Dreadnought stood still, and my Master fell back around over to him over here. Those Reavers moved up over here, and this Intercessor moved up, Inceptor moved up over there. And that is it for the movement phase, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, starting off the shooting phase, these Intercessors are going to fire into his Flying Hive Tyrant over here. So we got 10 shots hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. All right, so these are now going to be wounding on 5s. Not rerolling anything because of that. So that's going to be 4 wounds at AP -1, so 4 4-ups. Failing 1 of them. And now my Venerable Dreadnought's going to fire into his Flying Hive Tyrant over here. He's caught a case of the horrors, so he is going to be hitting on a 3 because he didn't move. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1 because of the Master over there. So that's 2 hits with fill faces. See if that makes a difference. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds, another fill face. These are AP -3, so 4 up invul save on him. Failing both of them. So that is going to be 2d6 wounds. 7 wounds. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll this one. Into 10. So he is dead. And that is Slay the Warlord. And do I get a command point back? I do not. This Intercessor squad is going to shoot into his Ripper Swarm over there. So we've got 8 shots. 3 guys are in rapid fire range. Hitting on 3s. All right, pretty good. Strength 4, toughness 3. So looking for 3s to wound. All right, so that is going to be 4 wounds at AP -1. So that's just going to be 1 guy dead. 1 guy dead and then 1 additional wound onto his squad. This squad here is going to fire into the Ripper Swarm. Hitting on 3s. All right. Wounding on 3s. All right, getting 4 wounds. AP nothing, so it's going to be, what, 5 up saves? Yep, so they've got 4 or 5 up saves. Making 1 of them, so 1 is dead. And now my Inceptor here is going to fire his Assault Bolters into the Neurothrope. 6 shots, hitting on 3s. Alrighty, 3 hits, strength 5, toughness 4, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds, AP -1, +1 because he's in cover, so 3 up invul save. Failing both of them. My Primaris Ancient is going to fire into his Flying Hive Tyrant over here. That's 1 hit, no wound. Now the Apothecary and the Lieutenant are both going to fire at the same time into him. Oh no, I can't do it. Sorry. Lieutenant's going to fire first. No, they can do it. So it's going to be 3 shots hitting on 3s between the 2 of them. All right, that's all hits. That is no wounds. And now my Master and Gravis Armor is going to fire into him with a Boltstorm Gauntlet. 3 shots hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s because of himself. So it's 3 hits. Getting no wounds. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, my Reavers here are going to charge into his Ripper Swarm. So I need a 5-inch charge to make it in. Making it in with 7. All right, so now my Inceptor here is going to charge into the Neurothrope and the Hive Guard. So we're going to have Overwatch from the Hive Guard here. 4 shots, hitting on 6s.
Rerolling 1s?
Rerolling 1s because of being Chronos. So it's 1 hit. Strength 8, so wounding on a 2. That is a wound. AP -2, right? Is it AP -2? AP -2, so looking for a 5 up save. No, I'm going to spend my Warlord's free reroll for a save. And he's good with a fill phase. Woo! All right, so 6 inches will get me into the Neurothrope there, and 7 inches will get me into with the Hive Guard. So the charge distance is in. All right, so after the charge move here, he does, I roll a d6 for each of the units that I finish within an inch. I finish within an inch of the Hive Guard and the Neurothrope there. So we'll do the Neurothrope first. On a 6, it does a mortal wound. So on a 6, that does a mortal wound to the Neurothrope. Onto the Hive Guard. No, so just into the Neurothrope. All right, so now my Apothecary is going to charge into his Flying Hive Tyrant over here. So he needs, he's going to be overwatching here with 12 shots, looking for 6s. All right, getting 2 hits there. So these are now going to be strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound, AP nothing, 3 up armor save. He's good, and his charge distance needing a 6-inch charge. Does not get it. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll this. Yes, because I used the free re-roll on his armor save over there. And he's in. And my Lieutenant's going to charge in. He also needs a 6-inch charge. He will get in. And now my Master is going to charge in. He needs an 8-inch charge to get in. Nope, not getting in. And now my Ancient is going to charge in. He will not make it in either. All right, so now my starting off, my Apothecary is going to attack into his Flying Hive Tyrant. So he's got 3 base attacks plus 1 because of the Chainsword. Hitting on 3s. That's all hits. Wounding on 5s. Rerolling ones because of the lieutenant. So that is 1 wound, 3 up armor save. Ooh, takes a wound. Lieutenant has the same thing, 3+1 because of the chainsword, hitting on 2s. All right, so that's 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. That is 1 wound. Again, 3 up armor save. Ooh, takes another wound. All right, so now my Reavers are going to attack into his Ripper Swarm. I did consolidate in and touch into his Tyrannifex, but I can't attack it because I didn't charge it. I declared it as a charge because I didn't feel like getting overwatched. So these attacks are going to go into the Ripper Swarms here. 9 attacks, hitting on 3s. All right. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. Okay, so that's 3 wounds. AP nothing, so 3 6-ups. Making none of them, so that's another 1 dead. All right, so now my Inceptor is going to attack into his Neurothrope over there. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 3 hits. Toughness 4, so wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. AP nothing, so 3 up. Whoa, 3 up. He's good. All right, so now his Flying Hive Tyrant will attack into my Lieutenant over here. So he's got 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, getting 3 hits. These are now strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. That is 2 wounds.
2 rings at AP -6.
AP -6, so those go straight through.
And they're 3 damage.
3 damage apiece?
Yes.
Oh, he is just straight up dead. He just straight dead. All right, the Neurothrope here is going to attack into my Reavers. He gets 1 attack. Hitting on 4. Nope, no hit. The Rippers are now going to attack into there. 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. Oh, hitting on 5s. Getting no hits. All right, so now the Tyrannifex is going to attack in. 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. That is going to be 3 hits. These are strength 6, 7. He's going to have strength 7, so these are going to be wounding on 3s. All right, so that is 2 wounds. AP
-1.
AP -1, so it's going to be 2 4-up saves to make them both. All right, so now the Neurothrope here is going to attack into my Inceptor here. 1 attack, hitting on a 4. That is a hit. Strength
4.
Strength 4, so 4s again. Oh no, 5s, but that's a wound because he's got the Gravis armor. No AP, so looking for a 3-up save. Yeah, he good. And now the Hive Guard are going to attack in. They've got 4 attacks between the 2 of them there. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. All right, getting 3 hits. Strength. These are going to be strength 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. Looking for 3-up armor saves. They're good. And that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 3. I scored 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives this turn, leaving me at 11 points. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 3. His Flying Hive Tyrant fell out of combat with my Apothecary. His Rippers here came in from reserves, dropping 9 inches away from my Reavers. His Tyrannifex and his Ripper stayed in combat with my Reavers, but his Neurothrope fell out of combat. Over here, his Neurothrope fell out of combat. But what was that? Neurothrope? Oh, sorry. I thought I was being corrected in what I was saying, but I got it right. So then over here, his Hive Guard stayed in combat with my Inceptor over there, and that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so now in the psychic phase, his Flying Hive Tyrant is going to Psychic Scream into my scouts over there, looking for a 5. Getting it with a 5, so D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. And now he is going to smite into Jenkins over here, the last scout alive, looking for a 5. Getting it with 7, so Jenkins will be dead. Jenkins, no! All right, so now he is going, this Neurothrope is going to cast Smite into my Inceptor, looking for a 6. Gets it, D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds, he is dead. And because of that, he gets to heal a wound, so he's up to 3. And now this Neurothrope is going to cast Smite over here, looking for a 7 now. Not getting it. And he is going to cast Catalyst onto the Hive Guard over there. That looking for a 6, so it does not go off. All right, into the shooting phase. His Hive Tyrant here is going to fire into my Master over here. So he's going to be 12 shots. He's got the Shroud of Heroes, so he's -1 to hit. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Alrighty. So there we go. So that is going to be 6 hits.
Strength 6.
Strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound, because strength 6, toughness 5, because he's got Gravis armor. So getting 4 wounds there. No AP, so we've got 4 3-up saves. And I make them all. Woo! All right, so now the Hive Guard there are going to fire into my Dreadnought over here, since now they are no longer locked in combat because they smited that dude to death. So here we go, 4 shots hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of their Hive Fleet. So that is 4 hits. Strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP -2. 1 second. All right, so it's AP -2, so looking for 5-up saves. Making 3 of them. I'll take that. So, what is it? D3 wounds? All right, 3 wounds. 3 6-up venerable ignoring wound rolls. Getting none of those, so he takes 3 wounds. All right, that's it for the shooting phase. So into the fight phase, because he's not going to charge anybody, the Tyrannifex is going to attack into my Reavers over here. He's got 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, getting no hits. All right, so now my Reavers are going to attack everything into the Ripper there. So these are going to be 9 attacks, hitting on 3s. All righty. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. All right, so that's 2, 4, 6, 7 wounds. 7 6-up armor saves.
Come on.
No, he is dead. All right, so that is it for the Tyranid turn here on turn 3. My opponent scored 1 objective here and 1 objective back there, and that is it. So we will come back to you after a movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 4. My Dreadnought moved around over this way, getting some line of sight onto his Tyrannifex. Speaking of, my Reavers dropped out of combat with him. My Intercessors here moved up closer to them. These Intercessors stood still where they were. My Master and my my Ancient moved up towards him, and that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, starting off the shooting phase, my Dreadnought over here is going to fire into his Tyrannifex. So I moved, so that is going to be hitting on 3s, 2 shots with the last cannon. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll this. Okay, do I get the command point back? I do not. Okay. So 1 hit, wounding on a 3. That is a wound with a fill face. AP -3. So 6-up save. Whoop. Oh, he makes it. All right, so my Intercessors here are going to fire into his Hive Guard over there. 10 shots because they're in rapid fire range. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty then. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. They're tough 4, right? Tough 4, so looking for 4s to wound. All right, so we've got 1. Oh, they're tough 5, so wounding on 5. Oh, it's still same difference here. So it's 2 wounds, AP -1, +1 because they're in cover, so looking for a 4-up save, 2 4-ups. Failing both of them. All right, Intercessors here are going to fire into his Flying Hive Tyrant. 5 shots hitting on 3s. All right, all hits, wounding on 5s. Getting 2 wounds, AP -1, so 2 4-ups. Failing them both. My Primaris Ancient's going to fire into him over there. Rerolling 1s because of the Master, so that's 2 hits. Getting 2 wounds with fill faces, AP -1, 2 4-ups. Making 1, failing 1. Boltstorm Gauntlet from the Master over here on 2s. Rerolling 1s because of himself. Okay, that's 2 hits. That is no wounds. And Bolt Pistol from the Apothecary. That's a hit. That is not a wound. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, my Master here is going to charge into his Flying Hive Tyrant. So we'll come back to you with the Overwatch. All right, so here comes the Overwatch. 12 shots hitting on 6s. All right, getting 4 hits. Not bad. And these are now going to be strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 4 wounds. AP nothing, so he's on cover there. So it's going to be 4 2-up saves. Failing 2 of them. Alrighty. And his charge distance is totally in. Now my Primaris Ancient's going to charge in. He's also in. And my Apothecary over there is going to charge in. He is in. All right, so now my Intercessors are going to charge into his Ripper Swarms and the Hive Guard inside there. Overwatch from the Hive Guard. Not getting anything there. Their charge distance is totally in. All right, so starting off the fight phase, my Master is going to punch into his Flying Hive Tyrant with the fist, with the Bullstorm Gauntlet fist there. So he's got 5 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 3s because it's -1 to hit. All right, so those 2s do not get to, are not hits, so that's 3 hits. These are going to be strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound. That is 3 wounds at AP -3, so he's got a 4-up invul save. So 3 4-up invul saves. Failing 2 of them, so 2 D3 damage. Gonna be 2, and I'm gonna spend my last command point here into that, so that is going to be 3 damage into him. Do I get the command point back? I do not, so I'm out of command points. Now my Primaris Ancient's going to attack in. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is all hits, wounding on 5s. Getting 1 wound, regular save, so 1 4-up save. 3-up save, no, takes a wound. And now my Apothecary is going to attack again. He's got 4 attacks with the Chainsword, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the Master there. So that is going to be 2 hits, wounding on 5s, getting no wounds. All right, so over here, my Intercessors are going to attack. 3 of them are going to go into the Hive Guard, and then 2, including my Sergeant, are going to go into the Ripper Swarm. So we're going to go the 3 into the Hive Guard first. So 6 attacks here, hitting on 3s. All right, so that is 4 hits. Wounding on 4s, getting 3 wounds, AP nothing, so 3 4-ups, failing 1. And now the 2 guys into the Ripper Swarms over there, so we're going to have 5 attacks total, hitting on 3s. Alrighty, wounding on 3s, getting 2 wounds, 2 6-up saves, making 1 and failing 1. All right, so now his Flying Hive Tyrant is going to attack into my Ancient over here. He's got 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, because he's in the last profile there. 1 hit there. Strength 6, so looking for a 3 to wound. No wound. Sorry, rerolling failed wounds with the Monster's Rending Claws. That is a wound. AP -3, so looking for a 6-up save. Yeah, he's good with a Filfers. Woo! So now the Hive Guard, the Rippers are going to attack back, hitting on 5s. Nothing there. Sorry, that was only for 1 of them, so now we've got the other ones attacking in. Getting 1 hit. Strength 3, so looking for a 5 to wound. No wound. And now the Hive Guard is going to attack with his 2 attacks here, hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 4. No wound. All right, so that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 4. I score this objective because I got 3 within scoring distance over here. I scored this one, and I scored this one. And then back over here, because I killed off that Ripper Swarm, I actually have more models around this one, which is back in his deployment zone. So I am actually going to Scorched Earth raise it. So I can get, it goes away, so it gets destroyed, and I score D3 victory points. 1 victory point, of course. So I scored 1, 2, 3, 4 victory points for that turn. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 4. His Flying Hive Tyrant here fell back out of combat with my Dubros over this way. His Tyrannifex is moving up this way, looking on my Intercessors over here. The Ripper Swarm here moved up over this way. The Neurothrope, I think, just basically stood where he was over this way. Back over here, the Hive Guard moved away out of combat with my Intercessors, and the Neurothrope moved a bit around over this way, but the Ripper Swarm stayed in combat with my Intercessors over there. So that is it for the movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 4. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, starting off the Psychic phase, he is going to Psychic Scream into my Master over here. Looking for 5. Oh, goes off with perils there, but doing well, that's 3. Which one do you want to do? 3. So 2 damage. Yeah, D3 to him. So that's 2 damage. He's down to 1, and then D6 mortal wounds.
It doesn't.
Oh, it's Psychic Scream, so it's just the one.
I rolled a one.
He rolled a 1 for that. And now he's going to regular smite into him. Getting it with 6, so D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds! That kills my master there, and that will be Slay the Warlord. And the Neurothrope there is going to smite into my intercessors over here, looking for a 6. Getting it, so that with a 10, so it's going to be D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds. And now he's going to Catalyst the Hive Guard. Need a 6, and that goes off. And this Neurothrope's going to smite into these guys looking for a 7. No, does not. Takes D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. All right, so now his Tyrannifex is going to start us in the shooting phase by firing his 18-inch not poison, acid thingamajob into them over here. So he's going to have 2d6 hits. Getting 7 hits. Strength 7, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting all but 1 wound there, so that's going to be 6 wounds. AP -1, +1 because they're in cover there. So it's going to be 6 3-up armor saves. And make all but 1 of them, so it's D3 damage, right? Or 2? D3? D3 damage. Doing 1 damage. And now the Hive Tyrant is going to fire into the Apothecary over here, so he's going to have 12 shots. These are going to be hitting on 4s. All right, we'll come back to that. And these are Strength 6, so these are going to be wounding on 3s. Okay, so getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. 6 AP nothing, so looking for 6 3-up armor saves. Failing 2 of them, so he takes 2 damage. All right, that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, the Rippers here are going to charge into my, what are they called? Reavers. So overwatching here, getting 8 shots, hitting on 6s. Getting 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Getting 2 wounds. 2 6-up saves. No, failing them, so they take 2 wounds there, and their charge distance should be in. And now the Hive Tyrant is going to charge because he is Hive Fleet Kraken. Is going to charge into both my Dude Bro with the banner and my Apothecary. So we're going to go with the Dude Bro with the banner first. Shooting at him with his auto bolt rifle. Not auto bolt rifle, just bolt rifle. So it's going to be hitting on 6s. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. That is a wound with a fill face. AP -1. He's got a 4-up save. Oh, he's good. And then my Apothecary is going to throw a crack grenade, looking for a 6. No, not getting it. So his charge distance is totally in. All right, so now the Flying Hive Tyrant is going to attack. He's going to put his tail attack into my Apothecary and the other attacks into my Ancient over here. So we're going to have 4 attacks into the, we'll do the Ancient first. So it's 4 attacks into the Ancient. These are going to be hitting on 4s, getting 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling failed wounds. All right, so that is 2 wounds at AP -3, so looking for 6-ups. Failing them both, D3 damage. Yeah, because he's just the one guy. That is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. That's enough to kill him. Does he get to punch back before he's taken away? He does not. And now his tail attack into the Apothecary. Hitting on a 4, that's a hit. It's the strength 6, looking for a 3. That is a wound. AP? AP nothing, so 3-up save. Nope. D3 damage. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh. All right, so now the Rippers are going to attack in here. We got 12 attacks, hitting on 5s. All right, so getting a fair number of hits there. So, and then there's a 1-5 over there. Not bad. So 6, half at 5s. That's pretty good. So these are now strength 3, so looking for 5s yet again to wound. Wow, really good there. There you go, 4. These guys apparently came to fight. They're making up for lost time, all that time they spent up in the air there. No AP, so 4 3-up saves. Yeah, killing 1 and wounding another. What? And now these Rippers are going to attack into my Intercessors. 8 on 5s. All right, not quite as good as their other brothers there. So that's going to be 3 hits. Wounding on 5s as well. Getting 2 wounds. I mean, not bad. 2 wounds, 3 up armor saves. Yep, 1 is dead. And now my apothecary is going to attack into him over there. We've got 4 attacks hitting on 3s. All right, that is 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. That is no wounds. And now my intercessors here are going to attack into his Ripper Swarms there. That is going to be 4 hits. What's that? Toughness 3. So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP minus nothing. So 3 6-ups. Making 2 of them. Just kills that 1 base. And now my Reavers are going to attack into these Ripper Swarms. Hitting on 3s. Pretty good. Wounding on 3s. Not as good. What? 1? All right. So 1 6-up save. No, so he takes a wound. All right, that is it for the Tyranid's turn here on turn 4. He scores 1 objective over here, and over there we are contesting it. So he scores 1 point for that. But he did have the 1 point for Slay the Warlord. So at the end of turn 4 here, the score is 16-8. So we will come back to you with the movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. Nobody's moving. He stays in combat over here with the Flying Hive Tyrant because apparently he's just like super incredibly brave or stupid, one or the other over there. These guys stood still over here holding this objective. He stood still, Master stood still, Intercessor stood still, and Reaver stood still. So that is it for the movement phase. At the end of the movement phase, he heals himself D3 wounds, 2 wounds. All right. Starting off the shooting phase, my Dreadnought here is going to fire into the Tyranifex. 2 shots, hitting on 2s because he didn't move. All right, that's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is 2 wounds. AP minus 3. So that's going to be 2 6-ups. Makes 1, fails 1. D6 wounds. 5 wounds. Reavers are going to shoot their heavy bolt pistols into the swarm over there. So it's going to be 3 shots hitting on 3s. All right, that's 1 hit. Wounding on 3. Moop, blomp, blomp. And these guys are going to shoot their regular bolt pistols into the Ripper Swarm over there, hitting on 3s. All right, rerolling 1 because they didn't move Grim Resolve. So that's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is 2 wounds. 2 6-up saves. Fails them both. My Apothecary is going to shoot into his Flying Hive Tyrant over here with his pistol. So he's got chameleonic armor or skin or something that we've been forgetting about this whole time. So it's -1 to hit, so he's going to be hitting on a 4. That is a hit with a fill face. Wounding on a 5. That is not a wound. All right, these Intercessors are going to fire into his Tyranifex over there, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. Okay. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 2 6s. Getting nothing. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. No assaults to be made, but we do have the fight phase. So fight phase is going to start over here with my Apothecary fighting into his Flying Hive Tyrant. 4 attacks with the chainsword there, hitting on 3s. All right, that is 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Oh boy, getting 1 wound. Here it goes. Can he make a 3-up save? No, he can't, and he goes down. So now these Rippers are going to activate. So we've got 3 squads there, so that's going to be 12 attacks going into my Reavers. These are going to be hitting on 5s. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, so 5 hits. These are now going to be wounding on 5s as well. Getting 1 wound. Forgot my dice over here. 3-up armor save. Yeah, he good. And now my Intercessors are going to attack, hitting on 3s. All right. Wounding on, get back here. Wounding on 4s. 3s. That's 2 wounds. 6-up saves. Fails them both, and he is dead. And then I consolidated into his guys over here. So now these guys are going to, he's going to choose his Hive Guard to attack into me because I made contact and got him in there. So 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 4, right? Strength 4. That is a wound. 3 up armor save. He's good. Now my Reavers are going to activate. We got 7 attacks here. Hitting on 3s. All right. Ooh, all hits. Pretty good there. Wounding on 3s. Getting 5 wounds over here. 5 6-up saves. Making one of them. So one of them's dead and the other one has 1 wound left. And now the Neurothrope gets to activate over here. 1 attack here. Hitting on a 4. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. No wound there. All right, so that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 5. I scored this objective because I have objective secured over here. And I secured this objective, and I secured this objective over here, and this objective over here. So I got 4 objectives that turn. Pretty good. So that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 5. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 5. All right, movement phase. He stood still. The Rippers fell back over here. His Neurothrope stood still where he was there, and both the Neurothrope and the Hive Guard fell back over here, and that is it for the movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 5. We'll come back to you at the psychic phase. Starting off here, he is going to smite into my Reavers, getting 9 on that one, so D3 mortal wounds, doing 2 mortal wounds. And then he is going to smite into him over here, so looking for a 6. No, does not get it. Rerolls 1s because of it being a Neurothrope, so good thing we remember, because that's D3 mortal wounds, doing 2 mortal wounds. All right, so now his, starting off the shooting phase, his Tyrannifex here is going to, he stood still, so he gets to fire twice. He's going to shoot 1 set into my Reavers and 1 set into my Intercessors. So we'll start with the Reavers, 2d6. That is going to be 4 hits. Strength 7, strength 6 now because he's been wounded. So he's going to still be wounded on 3s, though. Not bad. So that is going to be 3 wounds. AP -1, +1 because they're in cover. 3 up saves. And I failed 2 of them. So the first one will kill the guy. And then we've got, isn't it D3 damage?
Yeah.
So the last one, let's see. 2 damage. That kills off that squad. And the second set into my Intercessors. That is going to be 10 hits. Ooh, gruesome. All right, so these are wounded on 3s. All right, so getting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 wounds there. 4. AP -1, +1 because they're in cover. 3 up saves. Failing 2 of them. So 1 will kill a dude, and then the other one, D3 wounds, is killing another dude. All right, and that is it for the Tyranid's turn here on turn 5, and that is where we are going to call this game with a Dark Angel victory, claiming back this planet in the name of the Emperor, and more importantly, in the Dark Angel, so they can use this as a forward operating base. So, that was a brutal game. It really goes down to the fact that I jumped on those objectives, and I kept him from coming forward to claim more objectives. And that's the name of the game when you're playing these games. You really have to play towards the objectives. And I'm gearing up with my strategies and my tactics here for ATC that's coming up, because when I'm filming this, I'm going to go into that later this week. So I'm trying to get my mindset into the go hard or go home, and I don't feel like going home mentality. So I was really gunning for those objectives and trying to make sure that I did what I could to hold on to whatever objectives that I could and get the points. And that's what it comes down to, is getting those points. So it was an awesome game. I had a lot of fun. And those NIDs, man, they always throw things at me that I'm just not used to, because I don't play them too often. So it's kind of interesting to get to play them and see all that stuff they're playing. Like the 18 inches of Mega Flame on that thing. Brutal. Awesome stuff. So, I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I certainly have. I have been Phil the Glacial Geek as always. My opponent's been Shaka, and until next time, have fun.